Hey everyone, so I'm going to talk about some steps to setting up your first aquarium here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find an actual spot for said aquarium. So you want to make sure that you have enough room and that it's going to be in a stable spot, in a spot that little kids are not going to be able to take a dive into the aquarium or throw things that are not supposed to be in the aquarium into the aquarium, or animals jumping in there that are not fish. Alright, then once you do find a very good spot for your tank, you will want to go out and of course buy everything that you need for the tank, which I will give you a bit of a list here of things that I think you should have. So of course you are going to want your tank, which is of course obvious, and a stand for it, so some place to put your new aquarium. So me, I just use this black wire rack system thing here that I bought from like Menards or something. Then you will want a filter. I would recommend a filter that does 8 to 10 times your tank's volume per hour. So for instance, a 10-gallon tank, I would buy a filter that does 80 gallons per hour of filtering or flow rate or higher. That way it will keep your tank pretty clean and not all nasty looking. Then you will want a heater if you are doing tropical fish. Goldfish do not need a heater. Next would be substrate. So here you see I have gravel. And down there I actually have sand. So whatever type of substrate you want. Then would be decoration. So plants, ornaments, as I call them, decoration, caves, stuff like that. Then you will want some water conditioners to treat your water before you put it into your aquarium. A gravel siphon to do water changes with. Food of appropriateness for your fish. So tropical fish get tropical fish food. Goldfish get goldfish food. Then you will probably want something, if you have like bottom feeders or algae eaters, you will want to get some bottom feeder or algae wafers as well. Let's see, then we have a hood and light. Now, neither of these are necessarily needed, but are highly recommended. Now, if you have your aquarium is going to be in a spot that is going to be getting natural daylight throughout the day, then it'll be dark at nighttime. So if it's somewhat near a window or in the same room as a window, then you might not necessarily need a light. Then for a hood, some fish will jump out. Then it will also keep out small kids and cats and dogs and other animals and stuff. Then I would also recommend getting some medicine just to be proactive in case something does go down. That way you do not need to run out and buy the medicine. Alright, then third thing to do is to, of course, put your empty tank onto the stand in the spot that you want it to go. And then after that, so number 4 here would be to rinse off all of the items. So any of your decorations, especially substrate, even the heater and stuff like that, and yeah, actually the aquarium itself, it wouldn't be a bad thing to rinse out because they can all have dust on them, and you don't want your tank to look all dusty. So that's just not a pretty sight. Then 5th would be to set up your aquarium here. So put in the substrate, put in all your decorations, put in the heater, put on the filter, put it all together, and then of course add in your water, have it all set up and ready to go, and then of course turn on your filter and your heater and your lights after the water is in there, so we do not burn out anything. Then 6, I would recommend cycling your aquarium before buying any fish. The best way to do this is with a fishless cycle. But there are other ways to cycle a tank, but the best way is probably going to be a fishless cycle. That way you do not end up killing any poor fish. Then last but not least is to make sure that your tank's temperature is actually going to be stable. You do not want your temperature to be fluctuating. especially not in very high amounts. You don't want to be going from like 70 degrees in the morning, and then once the sun is up and shining, it goes up to like 75, and then back down to 70 at night. That can just actually end up giving your fish ick, and that is where the heater comes in handy, to keep it stable. Oh yeah, and that is my steps to setting up an aquarium. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a good one. Goodbye.